To a threat over Tylenol.
Pregnancy is already hard enough on a woman, and there's huge body changes. If you're experiencing a fever, take Tylenol.
A local mother slams a Trump administration message that an ingredient in a medication could be tied to autism. Plus, scorched by flames.
Our community came together at a time of need.
1 year later, we return to one of the most devastating wildfires in Wyoming history as the community continues to pick up the pieces. And worries in the water.
Definitely care about the dogs and don't want them to get sick.
Toxic algae has the Department of DEQ raising the alarm. The MTN Sunday 5:30 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 5:30 News.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, a local mother of a child with autism is speaking out, calling new claims from the Trump administration dangerous. The warning urges pregnant women to avoid acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol. Studies now linking that to autism. But many doctors say the science doesn't back it up. Our Isabel Spartz has the story.
Caitlin Wilson can't imagine her son any other way.
I just think that people with ASD look at the world in a really pretty, beautiful way.
Her son, 8-year-old Elias, was diagnosed with autism from a young age, something she describes as a superpower.
I get so, I want to cry when I talk about him sometimes. I think that Elias is an extremely loving personality.
The new conversations about the disorder concern her.
The idea of wanting to put a Band-Aid on something that makes somebody human and get rid of it, all of that scares me.
The Trump administration recently described autism as an epidemic and linked taking acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, while pregnant to the development of autism.
There is not one thing that we can, let's say, blame for causing an autism spectrum disorder.
Dr. Patricia Notario, a special needs pediatrician at Billings Clinic, says there's not enough current evidence to back up that claim and that the disorder itself is complicated.
I think it's important to know that decades of research have already gone into looking at causes of autism, potential treatments for autism.
So she and other doctors continue to advise patients with the guidance from the American Academy of Pediatrics.
If there are recommendations that maybe come out that are not based on rigorous scientific evidence, that's misleading, and that can be really dangerous for families.
The recommendations have been and remain that there is a benefit and safety to using acetaminophen in pregnancy.
And any claim that pregnant women won't harm their unborn babies by toughing out a fever, something OBGYN Jennifer Thompson says isn't true.
If we don't treat a fever, a mom has a risk of miscarriage, preterm labor. The baby can have neural tube defects or cleft lips.
Both Thompson and Notario agree moms-to-be should have conversations with their doctors first.
I'm not going to listen to somebody who's never had to deal with the hurdles of ASD and telling me that I'm doing it wrong or another parent's doing it wrong if they've never experienced it.
For Wilson, who didn't take acetaminophen during pregnancy, she says the claims put blame on mothers.
It's very overwhelming sometimes.
But she'll continue doing what's best for Elias.
But again, it's an incredible thing, and I'm happy to have a child with ASD.
In Billings, Isabel Spartz, MTN News.
The state of Montana is figuring out how to spend a windfall, more than $500 million, for rural hospitals. The money comes from a federal package passed earlier this year, $50 billion nationwide to ease the burden of new Medicaid restrictions. Montana's share is at least $500 million. State health officials say they're still waiting for federal guidance on exactly how the funds can be used, but rural hospital leaders like President Sherry Taylor says investments in new technology could be a game changer for patient care.
We have a lot of opportunities that we've known about. We just haven't had the funds to invest in to make it happen. I think we have that opportunity to develop a very specific plan that will help Montana and make a big difference.
Half the money will be split evenly among states, while the rest will be distributed based on factors like how rural a state is and the strength of its plan. President Trump is now hitting import drugs with massive new tariffs as well. Brand name and patented drugs will face a 100% tariff starting next month. Companies building manufacturing plants in the U.S. will be exempt. Trump says he wants to pressure drug makers to increase production here. Tonight, a look back at 1 year ago when the elk fire tore through the Bighorn National Forest. Tonight, the message is still the same. Communities helping communities. The fire scorched 100,000 acres, leaving lasting damage in Sheridan and Johnson counties. And tonight, our Matt Carmack takes us back to the scars, the stories, and the emotions still burning from one of Wyoming's most devastating wildfires.
With what began as a lightning strike quickly turned into devastation.
It was challenging for everyone.
I know that I never want to have to do that again.
I stood in this exact same spot almost 1 year ago today, and as you can see, the scars from this destructive and devastating wildfire still remain. The elk fire was one of the most catastrophic events the Bighorn National Forest has ever experienced.
Now, a year later, you can look out at the mountain and it looks a lot different.
Any other year, this region of the Bighorn National Forest would be a vivid evergreen. Now, black ash, dead trees, and little sign of life remain.
I don't think everybody can say they've been that close to a fire.
Definitely the mountain looks a lot different than it did before.
The elk fire burned for 48 consecutive days, impacting 3,000 residents and 10,000 acres of forest. Looking back, if you ask any Sheridan County survivors about the elk fire, two themes arise: community and calamity.
Everybody coming together was a collaborative effort, and at the federal level when we had that critical incident management team come in. But I think the collaboration between all of the first responders and our community was something special to see.
The Sheridan County Sheriff's Office was responsible for evacuating all residents in the danger zone. Sheriff Levi Dominguez tells me it was the collaboration between first responders and the community that saved the day.
Our community came together at a time of need.
And just like how first responders evacuated those in danger,
The first responders helped us in getting employees down the mountain.
those in the community acted as a stabilizing shoulder for the first responders. For instance, the Tongue River Valley Community Center acted as a meeting zone.
Both of our centers got used a lot during that time, but it was real emotional as it just was affecting so many people.
The Bear Lodge Resort opened up shelter and refuge.
We did have some people that stayed here initially that were helping with bathrooms for the firefighters that were helping, and some of the firefighters stayed here.
And the Parkman Bar and Grill kept the first responders fed.
I'm sure that we would all come together again to support one another, which is what we all do here.
Even though the elk fire left devastation, those affected say it was an opportunity for learning, healing, and collaboration.
It was really emotional. We had employees, donors, members that were being directly affected.
It helped us to solidify a lot of our emergency plans, or make sure that everyone knew what we would do in case of an emergency. Our community here in Sheridan and surrounding areas and states reached out to me with the most community support I've ever seen or even heard of, and I've done a lot of things in my short time.
Remembering the elk fire in Sheridan County, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Kind of a lazy, hazy, crazy afternoon across Montana. Looking over towards Sydney this afternoon, you have a few clouds, and it's been very warm, quiet afternoon. Nice to be that way. Downtown Miles City, very much the same. Just quiet with those temperatures continuing to warm up today. Here in Billings, as we take a look at the almanac with the Stockman Bank weather cam, you see just a little haze. We started off pretty close to average at 48 degrees. 44 is the average, but well above average this afternoon at 82 degrees. Winds were generally light, less than 30 miles per hour, and sunset now happening just a little before 7 p.m. in the evening. Everywhere you see a red shaded day, that means on the calendar that was warmer than average. So far for the month, we're running almost 3.5 degrees above average, and we've got a couple of days left in the month. Tomorrow's still going to be very warm, but as we shift from the reds to the blues, that means much cooler days are coming.
Just a reminder, the application to claim a one-time rebate on property taxes is closing soon. Taxpayers are able to claim the rebate on their primary residence if they have owned and lived in their home for at least 7 months last year. That is a maximum of $400, but the application window closes on October 1st. Rebates will be delivered in the form of a paper check, and you can find more information on how to apply on our website, ktvq.com. Still to come on the MTN 530 News on Q2, concerns coming to surface on some of Montana's lakes, presenting a danger to humans and pets. We'll have the details next. And later, one of the best cross-country runners in the state is making noise in a lot of different ways. We'll meet this week's class act, who stars on multiple stages.